Amanda here from createyourfuture.co. So today I have an exciting video of how you can manifest a trip with your specific person. And guys, just before I dive into this, we're having a contest. We get to 100,000 subscribers. We're giving away 3 free coaching sessions to 3 different people, so 1 each. All you need to do is to enter is just make sure you're subscribed, share our videos, as well as comment. What have you manifested using the law of attraction? So yeah, and guys, did you know I have a course out? It's called Create the Relationship You Love. You can use it for any, getting an ex back, or, manifesting a commitment, or you can really use it to transform any relationships, any existing relationship that you're already in. So yes, very exciting. And of course, as usual, you guys know, I do YouTube lives once a month on the Patreon. The link is in the description below. So if you'd like to ask me a question, definitely post it there and I'll answer it on the live. So yeah, let's dive in. Let's start. We have a success story. This is from the email coaching team. So the email coaching team sent this in. So it says, "Good morning. I know it's been a while since we spoke, but I wanted to let you know my success so far. I manifested a trip with my specific person for my birthday weekend, and it was amazing. I could tell he was happy to see me because he couldn't even stop looking at me, even while driving. Sometimes I can see him watching me when he thinks I'm looking out the window. He'd do this when we first started dating too. He watched me sleep in his truck. He took me to SeaWorld to see the dolphins, as I love dolphins and the ocean. Oh, the trip was to Florida, and I've been wanting to go to Florida. He brought his son too, and I could tell his son brought out my insecurities, because everyone is you pushed out through old thoughts and assumptions about my specific person. Nonetheless, we enjoyed the trip, and since then, I asked him over my recent break to see him, and he travels for work, as I manifested going to a better nursing college with a flexible job, even though, even though the pay is so, it works with the school and the trip with my SP. So that is so amazing. Manifesting a trip. Guys, the email coaching team gets a lot of success, actually. So this is absolutely amazing. Absolutely love it. So how can you create this in your life? I remember I actually manifested a few trips with Andrew when we first started dating, and he took me for a trip down to Whistler for my birthday weekend one weekend. So that was a lot of fun. So how you can, manifest this in your life is understanding that everyone is you pushed out. Okay. So what that means is all of your thoughts that you have are constantly being projected out to other people. Okay. So whatever your thoughts are, you're putting that out, and that's reflecting back to you. Okay. So here's a really good example of it. And your thoughts can go back in time. So the other day, there's this we have this grocery store called Save on Foods, and they have these lumberjack sandwiches. Now these sandwiches are pre-made, like they make them either the day before or the morning before or the night before. And me and my mom love them. We always get them. And so she was coming over for lunch, and she says, "Well, I'm at the grocery store. I'm going to pick up a lumberjack sandwich." And I personally don't eat regular cheese. So anyway, so she says, "But there's cheese in it." And I was like, "Oh, that's fine." I said to her, "It's fine. I'll just take the cheese out. That's okay, out of my piece." Anyway, so then I got off the phone with her, and I thought to myself, I'm like, no, I don't want any cheese nut sub at all. I'm like, I just intend there's no cheese. Anyway, so then fast forward about 20 minutes, my mom comes over at the sub, and guess what? There's no cheese in any of it. The lady totally forgot to put cheese in it. And so my thought, that was like at 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock, I talked to my mom. My thought went back in time to whenever the person was making it, for them to conveniently forget to put cheese in that particular sub. And trust me, we eat these subs all the time. There's never not cheese in them. So guys, everything is constantly overhearing. Everything in your reality is a sum total of your thoughts, okay? So the first thing you want to do is understand that everyone is you pushed out, and that your thoughts create, okay? So that your thoughts and what you spend time on thinking about is what's going to show up in your reality. So that brings me to my next point. How do you manifest a trip with somebody? Well, you get clear on what you want, okay? You sit down and you do some, intentions, affirmations, or just plain old scripting, okay? Or just thinking about it, okay? Or, you know, you can tell a friend about, you know, your dream weekend, right? Or you can write it in your journal. But the important part is that you live from the end. So basically how that works would be is you basically, when you're living from the end, you're basically telling the story as if it's already happened. Pardon me. So for instance, you would be like, okay, I'm so happy and grateful that, you know what, he took me to SeaWorld and we went to go do this and we went to go do that. So write it as it's already happened. Okay. And that's what living from the end is, keeping all your thoughts from the end of what you actually want. Okay. So what are you going to see, hear, and feel? Now you can go into as much detail and say, okay, this is how it's going to show up. Right. Or you can basically not worry about how it would happen, because it's, my statement would be like, I don't care how it happens, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen in the best way possible where I get what I want. Or you can actually, you know, work out all of the details. But, you know, myself, I wouldn't get too attached on the how or the why or how it's going to show up unless you really want to put that much detail into it. But the important part is focusing on what you want and what you'll do. So your end result. Okay. So you have this weekend and you're telling me about it basically, and tell me what you saw, what you heard, what you felt, what you did. Okay. And really, you know, it's almost like you're pre-planning your weekend, and you can go into as much detail or as little detail as you want. Then you also have to make sure that your story about yourself, about you always getting what you want, that you can be and do have anything that you want, that you're perfect, have your self-concept in place, as well as, you know, changing the story about the other person. I mean, do they want to make you a priority? Do they want to spend the weekend with you? Are they always taking you out? So start creating, you know, what they think about you and what they think about going on trips. You know what I mean? So like, for instance, right, I created with Andrew that he loves traveling. He absolutely loves it. So he would actually have to travel for work. And then I saw some pictures on his Facebook when we were dating about the places he traveled. So I started using that as a catalog, going, instead of like, oh, who's this girl? Who's that girl? Who is he commenting on? Instead of doing that sort of like, you know, stalking, I went and I looked through his pictures and I said, I'm going to be there with him. I'm going to go there with him. I'm going to be there with him. And I'm not kidding. One of the trips he took me on, there was this picture on his Facebook. It was from a pub, and he had a beer there and a plate of food, and like you could just barely see the plate of food and the beer. And then like it was the picture of this like beautiful ocean, right? This beautiful view. And of course, at first I was looking at the pictures. Is there anyone else's plate? Was he alone? But then I was like, oh my God, Amanda, no, stop that. And then I was like, oh, that's beautiful there. I said, in fact, yeah, you know what? The next person that's going to be there with him is going to be me. And then sure enough, I had no idea. He invited me on this trip. And so we went on this trip, and then guess what? We walked into that exact same pub and we sat at that exact same table. And I went, I was here before, even though I was never there before. I was like, oh, this was the picture from his Facebook. Okay. So, you know, spend some time actually focusing on what you actually want to create. Okay. It's okay to acknowledge what's going on in your current reality. It's okay to acknowledge what you don't want, but use that as a way to decide what you do want. Okay. So yeah, start intending you guys do trips together. Start intending that he loves to take you places, or she loves to take you places, or wants to go on a trip with you. You know, start creating, you know, your story so the whole thing is in line, right? And the most important thing is, you know, just like my sandwich experience is, you know, create other things in your life, because what ends up happening is when you create other things in your life, like I did that sandwich, at that moment, I was like, why am I worried about anything? Of course I create my reality. And, you know, and it was, again, it's like the chicken story I've told before, you know, it's just like, it's these little tiny things, okay, that sort of come up and they go, okay, you know what? I got this, right? And when you have a moment where you realize the manifestation comes into full realization, and you know that wonderful feeling you get, okay, right then you're feeling it real. You're feeling it. That's how you feel it real. And you take at that moment and you start intending in the other areas of your life that you're struggling, and start associating with that feeling with those areas. Pardon me, guys. Anyways, okay. That's how you manifest a trip is you go to the end. What are you going to see, hear, and feel? And you can tell someone about it. You can just talk to yourself in your head. You can write it out and basically focus on that and then change the whole entire story. You know, if you've got a story like, you know, they don't want to take you anywhere or, you know, they're always too busy, start changing that story as well. So yeah, that's amazing, guys. I appreciate every single one of you guys. And I intend that all of you guys are incredibly, incredibly successful. And thank you guys for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. Remember, you're perfect. Have a good day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.